Good morning, everybody. I'm Brent Benner, and I'm the Assistant Vice President for Enrollment Management here at the University of Tampa, and I'd like to welcome you all to Science Day. And what we do at Science Day is we do a deep dive into 4 different areas of science at University of Tampa. And I'll go over exactly what we're going to get into today with Science Day in a moment. But I just want to also let you know I've been at Tampa about 15 years. About 30% of our students are science students at University of Tampa. We do science very well. And I can speak to that as a parent as well as a college administrator, because my 3 oldest children all graduated from University of Tampa and got into fully funded elite PhD programs across the world here. So I will briefly speak to some of the things they've done too, as well as we're going to show you what students do here. So I'm going to share my screen with you and bring up a PowerPoint here that I'm going to go over with you so you can see the details of what we're going to do today. And our tagline is love where you live and learn. And it's true, research has shown that students who like the environment that they live in, where they go to college, tend to do better in college than students that aren't that enamored with the location of their university. And what we're going to do today, I'm going to spend about 15 minutes giving a general overview. And then when I'm finished, you're going to need to go back into your email and click on one of these areas of study, that you're interested in. And you're going to hear from professors, namely, and from perhaps some students for each of these, depending on which one you choose. And they're going to give an overview of the department. And then probably the coolest part is we're going to show you at 11:30, you're going to need to do the same thing, jump out, jump back in the area you chose, and you're going to see lab videos, about 5 minutes worth of lab videos in those each particular areas that you choose, as well as you're going to have a live student chat with real live University of Tampa students who are going to answer any questions you have. And then when that's over, again, you go back to your original email and you can click on a virtual campus tour. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'll just jump right in and start talking about the fact that we're a medium-sized university, as you can see here, about 8,800 undergraduates. We're a very popular university in the sense that we have more than 1,000 on our wait list every year. So make sure you apply early. Those of you if you're seniors and you like what you see today, I would try to expedite your application. And we have non-binding early action for those of you who are sophomores and juniors. If you can hit that first date, that November 15th date, you'll usually be in pretty good shape in terms of getting a decision. Waiting late in the process, like I said, we fill up pretty quickly. We are an international university. We have students from all over the world, over 130 countries, every state represented. We're an incredibly diverse university, ethnically, religiously, and geographically. And as you can see here, our international student body, about which of 10% of our students are international, are not dominated by one country or one continent. We have a nice slice of the world's pie. You will meet people from all over the country, all over the United States, when you come to University of Tampa. We're also part of the Coalition for College. This is the most elite group of universities, and this isn't a magazine rating or anything like that. You have to be invited by other universities into the Coalition for College. It was started by the Ivy Leagues a number of years ago, and we were invited about 5 years ago into the Coalition for College. You have to meet certain metrics and for graduation rates, loan debt, and the like. So we're very proud to be in the group of the most elite universities in the world. And we're a medium-sized university, as I mentioned. These are some statistics with faculty-student ratios. Note that our largest classroom has only 75 seats. I think we only have something like a dozen classrooms that seat more than 40 students. So again, you're not going to have the large lecture halls that you'll run into at other universities. Also, what's very cool about University of Tampa, we are located right in the heart of the city. And but yet we have a self-contained traditional college feel. We're like an island in the city. As you can see, there's no major city streets running through our university, and that's a river. As you can see behind me, the city, that is the Hillsborough River. Directly across the river is what you're seeing behind me, the city. And our students, we're the only university in downtown Tampa. We tend to own the internships downtown, which I'll talk about shortly. And this is a great feature. You can build your resume while you go to college. You don't have to wait till summers to do it. We have outstanding facilities here at University of Tampa. Our most recent science building that was completed about 2 years ago was our graduate health studies building. This houses our physician assistance program, our physics labs, as well as our nursing labs are all contained in this area. And we have a great career services office, but it doesn't stop at career services. Faculty, other students also are great connections to internships, and you can see these impressive statistics career-wise, where it's hard to find these statistics at many universities. They like to bury them, but not here at Tampa. We're pretty proud of them. And we're particularly proud that we put our students into the top grad schools, law schools, and med schools in the world. And I can speak for this as a dad. My son got into one of the most difficult programs at the University of Oxford in England, their Master's in Neuroscience program. And he's currently doing COVID research at National Institutes of Health, wrapping up his PhD. My youngest son is getting his PhD at Johns Hopkins. He got in Princeton, Wisconsin, Vanderbilt, but he felt he was the best fit at Hopkins. My daughter goes to the #1 school in the country for the study of microbiology, which is University of Wisconsin-Madison, where she's a marine science virus expert. So as you can see, really you're going to be the limitation. The University of Tampa provides you what you need to really go anywhere. It'll be your own limitations are the ones you'll have to deal with. Now, when you come into UT, those of you who've taken AP or IB coursework will be well prepared. Also, you need to have strong mathematics skills if you really want to have a career in science. I mean, you really need strong mathematics skills for almost any industry anymore, but particularly in science, as well as above average writing skills. A lot of grants you need to write, proposals, papers, of course. And then you have to be comfortable with standardized tests if you're going to be a science student, because while you go to college, while you're an undergraduate, as well as afterwards, there will be standardized tests you'll need to take. And then getting into some of the competitive advantages at University of Tampa, one of the greatest ones is that undergraduates do research and get published. It's very difficult to do research as an undergraduate, particularly if you go to a large state university. Not the case at University of Tampa, because we don't have graduate students taking up all the good research positions. The undergraduates get them. In fact, my oldest son got published twice before leaving UT, doing Alzheimer's research. My daughter got published once doing shark research with our prolific shark researcher, Dr. Dan Huber, and got published with this gentleman right here, Dr. Eric Freund, who's a cutting-edge virus researcher. So again, not only you can do research and get published, but you can get paid for it at Tampa. How crazy is this? 48 grants of $3,500. This is almost unheard of for undergraduates to be able to get paid for doing research, but you can at UT. The grants are awarded across majors, not only for science students, and you can see the additional support money you get if you travel. Again, we have a whole office designed for undergraduate research that focuses on that. So these are some awesome things to take advantage of. That's what's going to get you in the top grad schools, law schools, and med schools in the United States. Unlike I went to a large state university, and when I took chemistry, I did 50% of the reps. Then I stepped aside, let my lab partner do 50% of the reps. It's not going to happen at University of Tampa because you don't share your lab station. So you're literally almost getting twice the reps, twice the clinical skills as somebody who goes to a large state university. Also, you have faculty academic advisors that know all kinds of nuances, not only within science, but outside of UT, careers in science. My son, I had never heard of a post-bac, and my son did a post-bac at National Institutes of Health, and that's what helped him get admitted to Princeton, Princeton and Hopkins and Vanderbilt and the like, because faculty helped open doors for him and new things that again, people like myself just don't know. And then another thing to consider is medical schools often cap the number of their own undergraduates. So be very careful. I think one of the worst things you can do is go to your destination medical school or graduate school, because you stack the odds against you. Often, not in all cases, but in most cases, medical schools and graduate schools want diversity. They want to bring in students from all over the world, and nothing against their own undergraduates, but they'll often cap or limit how many of their own undergraduates they admit. So you may want to think of going to a school like Tampa, building your resume, then getting into elite school. Trying to do very much what my kids did in that regard. And then we have a wide variety of science programs too. A lot of times when you go to college, you're not really sure what you want to study, but you discover it by finding other areas of science at the university. And having a wide variety of science programs is really advantageous at University of Tampa. I've mentioned the ability to walk to internships, like this student who has an internship. I believe she's doing the reptile show at the Florida Aquarium. A lot of different environmental science, marine science, volunteer work, internships that you can take advantage of to resume build. All of this you can walk to from campus. Likewise, the #1 hospital in Florida, Tampa General Hospital, 5 blocks from our campus. We have some incredible internships with them, including 4 pre-med internships each year that you get to pick one of 8 different fields, and you get a $1,000 stipend for this internship. And those of you who are forensic science students, we have 2 major investigative crime scene labs. We have the Tampa Police Department as well as the Hillsborough Sheriff's Department, both within walking distance. Actually, one of my student workers from San Jose, California, had a really cool internship that she had last year at the morgue, which also is in walking distance from what I understand. I mentioned we're an international university. Every field is an international field. Every business is an international business. What better way to make those connections than to do it by coming to an international university, meeting, having friends, roommates, meeting people you know of, so you make these connections, these international connections, along with your professors while you're an undergraduate. Nothing against regional universities that have 90% plus students from the same state. It's just, it's very different at University of Tampa. Also, you have a degree recognized worldwide. I already mentioned we're a member of the Coalition for College, the top 150 universities in the United States, as well as, you know, when I moved here to Tampa from Chicago about 15 years ago, there were some universities here in Florida that I was exposed to that I had never heard of before. Now that's a big problem. If you want to get a job in Melbourne, Australia, London, LA, or New York, good luck if nobody's ever heard of your university. It's not going to happen at University of Tampa because, as I mentioned, we're world renowned. And we have alums in over 150 countries. So you can, no matter where you end up going to work, you'll probably have some connections there. We're a very big travel abroad school, a lot of robust travel abroad things you can take advantage of, especially science-related travel abroad. My daughter, who's a marine science virus expert, went to Roatan, Honduras, where this picture was taken. She went to the Galapagos Islands for a different travel abroad course, went to the diving in the Red Sea in Egypt, and finally took one here at University of Tampa for Coral Reefs course that took her to the Great Barrier Reef. So a lot of things to take advantage of. Don't have a lot of time to talk about our honors program, but it's an outstanding one. A lot of things you can take advantage of, research and travel abroad stipends, but the Oxford semester is something that's life-changing, and that we have 3 students study at Oxford every semester. We're one of 20 universities that has this relationship with Oxford, and we subsidize the difference. Oxford's the 3rd most expensive university in the world, and you pay University of Tampa prices while you study at Oxford. Another great thing to get in your resume and help parlay that into excellent grad school or med school. And you can do everything a University of Tampa student can do. This student, who actually was a science student, won the UK championships playing ice hockey at Oxford. We had a student last year play women's basketball there. We had a men's basketball player previously, a rowing student. And then finally, it's all about fit. This is the last thing I want to speak about. University of Tampa students are definitely metropolitan. They like the city, like taking advantage of the city. They're cosmopolitan, and they like studying with people different than them. But one thing I want to point out, our students are very independent. Look at this incredible statistic, and this is only our average U.S. student studies here, 925 miles from home. Most universities have very few students from more than 300 miles studying there, but this is our average. #1 reason students leave Tampa, we've had 2 retention analysts come in and study this: homesickness. They found the same thing both times. Most students who leave Tampa do so because of homesickness. So going to college 1,000 miles away from home is very different than going 200 miles away from home. If you're not independent, if you can't do well away from mom and dad, like our whole student body does this very well, but not everybody can do that. So you may want to look at a place closer to home if you think you are prone to homesickness. But if you're independent, we're a great place for you. And we provide excellent resources And as I mentioned, we're a fantastic place to study science. And then now we're going to end here, and then you need to go back in and click in the area of study, and then you can hear a presentation of that area. And then the coolest part of this program is, again, the videos you're going to see in the live student chat. Take care. Pleasure speaking with you today.